Did you know the right engine additives can improve fuel efficiency, reduce wear, and help your engine last tens of thousands of miles longer, while the wrong ones can quietly destroy it from the inside? In this video, we're ranking 8 engine additives based on real mechanic experience, not marketing hype. You'll see which ones actually protect engines, which ones only work in specific situations, and why the number 1 additive might surprise you. We begin with one of the most popular fuel additives. Techron Concentrate Plus is a fuel system cleaner made by Chevron. It is rumored to be one of the few additives recommended by GM and other manufacturers, including BMW. Techron Concentrate is also recommended by many mechanics. Scientifically, it checks out. Techron Concentrate utilizes high-strength polyethyramine, PEA, which has been proven to remove carbon deposits from engines. Techron decarbonizes fuel injectors, combustion chambers, and intake valves. Many drivers claim that Techron improves fuel efficiency, enhances engine performance, and reduces knocking. In some instances, fuel economy improved by 2 miles per gallon. Even though Techron is a proven fuel system cleaner, it has some limitations. For example, this additive works best on cars that have been using substandard gasoline. You also see more definitive results on older engines that have been abused. If you choose to use Techron, you must follow the instructions precisely. This is a common theme with the additives on this list, including the next one. Next up, we have the ATS Chemical 505 CRF Fuel System Treatment. When a world-famous mechanic is willing to put his reputation on the line for a product, you know it has to be worth talking about. Scotty Kilmer is well known for openly recommending only a handful of additives, and this is one of them. Like Techron, ATS 505 CRF uses PEA, one of the most effective detergent chemistries proven to break down stubborn carbon deposits. It's designed to clean carbon buildup in fuel injectors, intake valves, and combustion chambers. ATS claims it targets multiple types of carbon deposits that commonly form in modern fuel systems. The 505 CRF works on both port fuel injection and direct injection systems. And unlike Techron, it's formulated for use in both gasoline and diesel engines, which partly explains why it comes at a higher price point. So, is it worth the money? That really depends on the condition of your vehicle. Some drivers report noticeable reductions in oil consumption, especially on higher mileage engines. Others see modest improvements in fuel economy, typically in the range of 1 to 3 miles per gallon, depending on driving habits and engine health. Real-world results vary, but even small efficiency gains can add up over time. Beyond fuel economy, many users also report smoother throttle response, quieter valve and timing chain operation, and more stable idle performance. These benefits make ATS 505 CRF particularly appealing for high-mileage vehicles or engines that haven't always had perfect maintenance. Later in the video, we'll look at another additive designed specifically for classic cars. But before we get there, it's time to take a closer look under the hood. As a general rule of thumb, most engine oil additives are unnecessary at best and harmful at worst. Many so-called miracle additives can clog oil passages, interfere with proper lubrication, or alter oil behavior in ways engineers never intended. That $20 bottle promising instant results can sometimes lead to a $4,000 engine rebuild down the road. That said, there are a few exceptions, and Lucas Heavy-Duty Oil Stabilizer is one of them when used correctly. Despite the name, this isn't your typical additive loaded with chemicals. Lucas Oil Stabilizer is essentially a very thick, petroleum-based mineral oil with minimal additive content. Its primary purpose is simple: to help older engines with loose bearing clearances hold oil pressure and quiet things down. The extremely thick oil helps fill worn internal gaps, which can reduce engine noise, slightly boost oil pressure, and, in some cases, lower oil consumption. That's why it's often used as a temporary aid for high mileage or worn engines, not as a permanent fix. And this part is critical. This product is strictly for old, worn engines. Lucas Oil Stabilizer has an extremely high viscosity, over 2,500 centistokes at 104 degrees C or 40 degrees C. For comparison, a typical 5W30 synthetic oil is around 60 centistokes at the same temperature. That's not a small difference, it's massive. Put this into a modern engine, especially one with a turbocharger, and you're asking for trouble. Turbochargers rely on fast oil flow for cooling and lubrication. Slow that flow down, and you can destroy the turbo and the engine with it. In non-turbo engines, it can still slow down variable valve timing response and increase the risk of oil aeration or foaming. So, the takeaway is simple. Keep this away from healthy, modern engines. But for older, high-mileage engines that are already worn and nearing the end of their service life, Lucas Heavy-Duty Oil Stabilizer can serve as a short-term Band-Aid if you follow the instructions carefully. Did you know a significant portion of your engine's energy is lost to friction and heat? While the exact numbers vary by engine design, it's widely accepted that mechanical friction and heat account for a large share of efficiency losses inside an internal combustion engine. That's exactly why billions of dollars are poured into developing better engine oils and lubrication technology every single year. The problem is, even the best modern oils aren't always as effective in older, worn engines. That's where Liqui Moly MOS2 comes into play. This additive uses molybdenum disulfide, or MOS2 for short, to create a pressure-resistant boundary layer on metal surfaces. Instead of relying solely on liquid oil film, MOS2 bonds to metal and provides solid lubrication where oil alone may struggle, especially under high load or during cold starts. Liqui Moly claims this can significantly reduce friction in areas like the valve train, and while real-world results vary, reduced wear and smoother operation are commonly reported. MOS2 is not some new or experimental technology. It's a German-developed additive that has been used for decades in European taxi fleets, industrial machinery, and even aerospace and heavy-duty applications. Anywhere excessive friction can lead to serious mechanical failure. Just like several additives we've discussed so far, Liqui Moly MOS2 is best suited for older engines. A brand new engine, especially one with fewer than about 5,000 miles, actually needs a certain amount of controlled friction for piston rings to seat properly. Reducing friction too early can interfere with proper break-in. The most immediate benefits people notice with MOS2 are quieter operation and easier starts, particularly in cold weather. It's compatible with all 4-stroke gasoline and diesel engines, including turbocharged engines. Liqui Moly also states that it is safe for engines equipped with catalytic converters and diesel particulate filters when used as directed. However, if you're looking for something designed specifically with diesel engines in mind, the next additive on this list might be a better fit. Unlike many engine additives that promise vague benefits, Shot Secret EDT addresses a real, well-documented problem in modern diesel fuel. The process of removing sulfur to produce ultra-low sulfur diesel, or ULSD for short, also strips away much of the fuel's natural lubricity. And that loss of lubrication directly translates into increased wear inside fuel pumps and injectors. In standardized lubricity testing, specifically the HFRR, high-frequency reciprocating rig test, ULSD is allowed to produce wear scars of up to 520 microns, which is the maximum limit under ASTM diesel fuel standards. That's acceptable on paper, but far from ideal for long-term component life. Shot's EDT is designed to improve that lubricity. According to test data and user reports, it can reduce wear scar measurements significantly, helping protect high-pressure fuel pumps and injectors. That matters, because replacing a modern diesel injection system can easily cost $5,000 or more. EDT also improves another critical diesel characteristic, cetane rating. Most pump diesel in the U.S. falls somewhere between 40 and 45 cetane, while many modern diesel engines run best closer to 48 to 50. Shot's EDT can boost cetane by up to 7 points, depending on the base fuel. Higher cetane means quicker ignition, more complete combustion, smoother running, and easier cold starts. As a result, some users report modest gains in fuel economy, sometimes up to around 5 to 7%, depending on driving conditions and engine health. But beyond mileage, many drivers notice quieter operation and smoother idle almost immediately. Another big advantage of EDT is that it's safe for new engines. You can use it regularly without worrying about interfering with engine break-in or emission systems. That said, if your vehicle is very old or heavily worn, you may want to address existing deposits or mechanical wear first, using the next product on this list, before relying on a maintenance additive like EDT. Seafoam motor treatment is a multi-purpose additive that works as a fuel stabilizer, fuel system cleaner, and oil system cleaner, along with a few other functions depending on how it's used. Unlike many additives that are limited to one application, Seafoam can be added to both fuel and oil, and it's compatible with gasoline and diesel engines. So how does one product manage to do all of that? Seafoam has been around for over 80 years, and its formulation is relatively simple compared to modern detergent-based cleaners. It's primarily made up of petroleum-based solvents and lubricating oils, which allow it to dissolve varnish, gum, and light carbon deposits rather than aggressively stripping them away. Over the years, tens of thousands of users have reported benefits such as smoother running, reduced oil consumption in some older engines, and modest improvements in fuel economy. In oil applications, it can help free sticky piston rings and lifters, especially in engines that have been reasonably well maintained. That said, being a jack of all trades also makes Seafoam a master of none. While it is a capable fuel system cleaner, it's not as effective at removing hard carbon deposits as dedicated cleaners like Techron or ATS. The main reason is that Seafoam does not contain PEA, which is the gold standard for breaking down heavy carbon buildup. Because of that, Seafoam is best suited for older engines that aren't heavily sludged or neglected, but could benefit from gentle, broad-spectrum cleaning. Its biggest advantage is convenience. You can keep one product on the shelf and use it in multiple ways. If you're looking for an oil treatment that can work almost like magic on seriously old or worn engines, hold on. Number 9 is where things get really interesting. With a history of over 100 years, Marvel Mystery Oil is one of the most tried and tested engine additives still on the market today. It earned its mystery reputation by being a multi-purpose product, working as a light fuel system cleaner, oil conditioner, and upper cylinder lubricant. Marvel Mystery Oil is designed to help loosen light carbon deposits on fuel system components, including fuel pump internals and fuel injectors, in both gasoline and diesel engines. When used in the crankcase, it can also help reduce sludge, varnish, and gum buildup, especially in engines that have seen long oil change intervals in the past. In terms of real-world results, many users report quieter idle, smoother starts, and slightly freer revving engines after treatment. In some cases, lightly sticking components, such as hydraulic lifters or partially fouled EGR valves, may function better after use. While it's not a guaranteed fix, it can sometimes delay or reduce the need for costly repairs. That said, Marvel Mystery Oil is not a heavy-duty carbon remover. Its formulation is relatively mild, relying on light petroleum oils and solvents rather than aggressive detergents. Because of that, it's best suited for classic cars, carbureted engines, or high-mileage vehicles that benefit from gentle cleaning and added lubrication. For newer engines or applications where stronger, more targeted chemistry is needed, Marvel Mystery Oil has its limits. Fortunately, the next additive on this list doesn't share that restriction. If you've ever owned a diesel vehicle, you already know how brutal winter can be. Cold starts become a struggle, fuel flow slows down, and without the right treatment, diesel fuel can begin to gel, sometimes leaving you stranded when you least expect it. That's why we're back with another solid product from Shot Secret. Their Diesel Winter Anti-Gel does exactly what the name suggests, and in many cases, does it better than most competing products. This additive works by lowering the cold filter plugging point, or CFPP, of diesel fuel, which is the temperature at which wax crystals begin to clog the fuel filter. In addition to preventing gelling, it also improves fuel lubricity and provides a cetane boost, helping engines start more easily and run smoother in extreme cold. Untreated diesel fuel that contains paraffin wax can begin to gel at temperatures around 10 degrees Celsius, 12 degrees Celsius, depending on the fuel blend. Shot's Secret Winter Anti-Gel is formulated to protect fuel flow down to as low as 40 degrees Celsius, under controlled conditions, and when used as directed. Without a proper anti-gel treatment, a diesel engine may fail to start, and repeated cold start issues can lead to damaged fuel filters, injectors, or fuel pumps, repairs that can easily reach $1,500 to $2,000 or more. To get the best results, this additive must be used before temperatures drop and before the fuel begins to gel. Once diesel has already gelled, no anti-gel product can magically reverse it inside the tank or fuel lines. And keep in mind, this product is only for diesel engines and is intended for cold weather use. If you drive a gasoline vehicle, a fuel line antifreeze designed for gas engines is the correct solution. But there's one product people commonly use in winter that you should absolutely avoid, and we'll get to that later. One of the most expensive oil-related engine repairs you can face is stuck piston rings. Depending on the vehicle and labor rates in your area, that repair can easily run $2,000 to $3,500, sometimes more. And here's the painful truth. In many cases, it's completely preventable. BGMOA, short for motor oil additive, was designed specifically to address long-term oil degradation and internal engine wear. Rather than acting as a quick fix, this supplement focuses on protecting piston rings, stabilizing oil chemistry, and slowing the buildup of sludge and varnish over time. BGMOA works by reinforcing the oil's additive package. It helps maintain viscosity under heat and load, while also improving the oil's ability to neutralize acids formed during combustion. According to published test data, BGMOA can significantly increase the total base number, or TBN, of conventional motor oil. TBN measures an oil's resistance to acidity, and when that number drops too low, oil begins to attack bearings, rings, and internal engine surfaces. High-quality motor oils already contain additives to manage acidity. But if you've been running cheap oil, extended drain intervals, or inconsistent maintenance, the oil's protective chemistry can break down much faster. That's where BGMOA can make a real difference. The one caveat with BGMOA is that you won't feel instant results. This isn't a product that makes your engine suddenly quieter or smoother overnight. Instead, it works quietly in the background, protecting piston rings and internal components over the long haul. Because of that, BGMOA is best suited for older vehicles or high-mileage engines where long-term wear prevention matters more than short-term performance gains. If you're looking for a true set-it-and-forget-it oil supplement that focuses on longevity rather than hype, BGMOA earns its spot at number 9. Ever wonder why classic cars are so expensive to own? A big part of it comes down to maintenance. Older engines, especially those with flat tappet camshafts, require motor oils with much higher levels of ZDDP, zinc dialkyl-dithiophosphate, to prevent cam and lifter wear. The problem is, modern motor oils no longer contain high levels of ZDDP. That's not an accident. Zinc and phosphorus can damage catalytic converters, so emissions regulations have forced oil manufacturers to reduce ZDDP content in modern formulations. That's where Liqui TB Zinc Plus comes in. Most modern street oils contain roughly 600 to 800 parts per million of zinc. Flat tappet engines, especially classic and high-performance builds, typically need 1,200 to 1,400 ppm for adequate protection. Liqui TB Zinc Plus is a highly concentrated ZDDP additive, and when used correctly, it can raise zinc levels well beyond what modern oils provide, making it suitable for classic engines, racing applications, and engine break-in procedures. This product is commonly used during camshaft break-in, where extreme pressure between the cam lobes and lifters makes proper lubrication absolutely critical. However, if Liqui TB Zinc Plus is used during break-in on a fresh engine, the oil should be changed after a short interval, typically within the first 500 to 1,000 miles, to remove excess additives and wear particles. That said, using this additive in a modern emissions-equipped vehicle is completely unnecessary and potentially harmful. Excessive ZDDP can shorten catalytic converter life, and modern roller cam engines simply don't need it. In the end, Liqui TB Zinc Plus is an excellent oil additive for classic cars, flat tappet engines, and pre-1994 vehicles. But if your car is newer than that, there are better, safer additives designed specifically for modern engines, and we'll cover those separately. According to industry research and SAE-related studies, gasoline direct injection, also known as GDI engines, can accumulate significantly more carbon buildup on intake valves compared to traditional port-injected engines over high mileage. Unlike port injection, GDI sprays fuel directly into the combustion chamber, meaning the intake valves no longer get washed by fuel. Over time, this leads to heavy carbon deposits. That's why GDI engines are more prone to cold start misfires, rough idle, hesitation, and reduced throttle response as mileage increases. The issue has become so common that many technicians now consider intake valve cleaning a routine maintenance item for GDI vehicles, often costing $600 to $800 per service. One way to reduce how often you need that expensive cleaning is by using CRC GDI intake valve and turbo cleaner. This product is specifically formulated for GDI engines and uses a high concentration of PEA, the same proven detergent chemistry found in top-tier fuel system cleaners. When used correctly, it can help soften and remove carbon buildup on intake valves, turbocharger components, and combustion chambers. And yes, it actually works. Independent testing and shop demonstrations using borescopes have shown heavily carboned valves becoming visibly cleaner, with bare metal starting to show through after treatment. The key here is proper application. Unlike traditional fuel additives, this isn't something you just pour into the gas tank or crankcase. It must be applied through the intake system following specific instructions, and skipping steps will drastically reduce its effectiveness. That extra effort, however, is what makes the product worthwhile. Because carbon buildup in GDI engines happens relatively quickly, CRC recommends using this cleaner about every 10,000 miles, depending on driving conditions. When you do the math, spending roughly $15–20 every 10,000 miles instead of paying $800 for an annual intake cleaning is a no-brainer. That said, if your vehicle uses a more traditional and forgiving fuel injection system, the next additive on this list will get the job done just fine. Gumout has one of the most extensive additive lineups on the market, including octane boosters, full fuel system cleaners, carburetor cleaners, and ethanol treatments. But among all of them, their fuel injector cleaner consistently stands out as one of the best values available. This product also contains PEA. It's designed to clean fuel injectors, intake valves, and intake ports in gasoline engines, helping restore spray patterns and improve combustion efficiency. What really sets Gumout apart is its compatibility with newer vehicles. When used as directed, it's safe for modern engines, emission systems, and catalytic converters, making it a low-risk option for routine maintenance. That said, you'll see the most noticeable benefits when using it on older engines or newer vehicles that haven't always been well maintained. Another major selling point is the price. A 6-ounce bottle typically costs around $5 and treats up to 21 gallons of gasoline, making it one of the most cost-effective PEA-based cleaners on the shelf. If you want something more comprehensive than just injector cleaning, Gumout also offers an all-in-one fuel system cleaner, which targets injectors, valves, combustion chambers, and fuel stabilization in a single treatment. And at number 13, we have AT205 Reseal. If you've seen our video on how to make your car's suspension last longer, then you already know how valuable this product can be. AT205 Reseal is one of the few additives that actually belongs in almost every garage, whether you drive an older vehicle or something relatively new. AT205 Reseal isn't a thickening agent or a stop leak in the traditional sense. It's a plasticizer designed to rejuvenate rubber seals and gaskets. Over time, rubber components lose elasticity, harden, and begin to crack, which leads to leaks. AT205 works by restoring flexibility to those seals, allowing them to swell slightly and seal properly again. The key difference here is that AT205 doesn't clog passages or coat surfaces. Instead, it conditions the rubber itself, which not only helps stop existing leaks, but can also extend the service life of seals and gaskets. Another major advantage is versatility. AT205 Reseal can be used in engine oil, automatic transmissions, power steering systems, differentials, and other hydraulic systems, as long as rubber seals are involved. It can also be applied externally to rubber components, such as suspension bushings and mounts, to help keep them supple and reduce premature cracking. For high-mileage vehicles, this product can be a serious money saver. While it won't fix torn seals or mechanical damage, it can delay or prevent leaks that would otherwise cost thousands of dollars to repair. You can run a high-mileage car without AT205, but if leaks start adding up, you'll quickly find out just how expensive rubber failure can be. At the end of the day, engine additives aren't magic, and they're definitely not one-size-fits-all. What works incredibly well for a high-mileage engine might be completely unnecessary, or even a bad idea for a newer one. That's why this list isn't about hype, brand loyalty, or marketing promises. It's about how these additives are actually used by mechanics in the real world. Now we want to hear from you. Have you tried any of these additives? Did they help? Or did they do absolutely nothing? Are there products you swear by, or ones you'll never touch again? Drop your experience in the comments below. Finally, this video is for educational purposes only, based on public sources, vehicle manuals, and automotive research, not to promote any brand. Always verify information, follow your vehicle's guidelines, and make maintenance decisions with care. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.